watching cartoon characters were fucked. Poor Pepe Le Pew. Come on, how can you cancel Pepe Le Pew? Those cats were consenting. Just saying. You know, and the truth of the matter is, if we think about any cartoon that we grew up with, they were not exactly great role models. No, let's think about it. You know, Popeye, you know that was cracking that pipe. Fucking olive oil, crap whore. Going between Pluto and Popeye, whoever had the bag. Had no idea where her baby was. Fucking Yogi Bear. Fucking, you know his smoky pot. That's why he went through so many picketed baskets a day. Fucking always had the munchies. Fucking. And then Speedy Gonzalez, meth addict. You know, I've been Mexican all my life. I've never seen any of them move that quickly. Slowpoke Rodriguez, alcoholic. Senor Busigato. Don't eat me, I'll destroy your liver. All that. But you know who was the worst? Porky Pig. Motherfucker never wore pants. Little theme showing all the time, man. It's wrong. It's just wrong. You guys ready for the next comic? Like none of you guys are going to know this guy. Please welcome Mr. Mike Herrera!
Mexican and Filipino. You know what you get when you mix a Mexican with a Filipino, right? Car thief that can't drive. Yeah, that's all right, that's all right. I'll tell you this, though. When you're Mexican or Filipino, you can't get conceited. You can't get a big head. Your family won't let you. Yeah. I went to college, got my degree. I said, hey, check it out, I got my degree. Came running home, I got my BA. Man looks at her, she goes, BA? I've been a BA all my life. Big ass. Yeah, that was my mom's answer to everything, an ass whooping, you know. Couldn't argue with her. Everything was an ass whooping. You know, they're like, wow. You know, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. You know, so when I was younger, I had braces. And I couldn't stand those things, you know, so I hit her one time and said, I'm not gonna wear this no more. My mom sees me and says, right, where's your braces? So I'm going forever, I put them. And, you know, she didn't say nothing, she just went in her room, came back out with this big belt, and she says, will this help you remember? Took me 2 seconds to find it, man. That's it. So, and one time it didn't work. You know, she gets a phone call from school, and, hey, Mike can't read. Oh, Mike can't read? Oh, she gets a belt up. They tell her, I'm like, thanks, Mom. I can read a lot better now. Thanks, Mom. And then my little brother, he goes up to my mom and said, hey, Mom, you know, it's a free world. I can say what I want. My mom says, it's a free world? Where's the free ass whooping then? You know, she just, I used to take karate when I was younger, too. But I had to quit, man. I kept getting beaten up. So, not in the class, when I got home. You know, my brother would see me in my karate uniform, but I can still kick your ass. And then I used to go camping a lot when I was younger, you know. People camp different. You know, white people, they'll come in a camper. Filipinos, hey, they'll bring a tent. And Mexicans, they throw a blanket over the picnic table, whatever sleeps under the table. And then the food's different too. You know, white people, hot dogs, s'mores, you know, they'll sing campfire songs, you know. Mexicans, mom brings a big pot of menudo, frijoles, carne asada, you know, big tacos, burritos. beer, tequila, and they bring the couch with them, put the couch by the fireplace, so, singing songs all night long, until the neighbors come, they're all pissed off. So, hey man, can you guys be quiet? We're trying to sleep. So, what's wrong? It's only 1 o'clock, man. Jeez. Okay, we're calling Rangers. Okay, call the Rangers. The Rangers would come, they get quiet. A little while later, the neighbors would show up again. They see the Rangers, they're eating tacos and burritos with us now. Hey, it kind of backfired on us though, because the Rangers, after a while, the Rangers wouldn't leave. And we had to call the cops on the Rangers, right? Yeah. And then on the flip side, Filipinos, they bring their adobo, their pancit, their lumpia, but they won't go camping unless they can plug in a rice cooker. And they make rice, man. They don't use a measuring cup, put the rice in there, wash it off. They use this finger right here. Put the finger in there where the rice is and fill the water up to that first line back there. So anyway, I go to the restroom. There's a rice cooker plugged in the restroom, After I'm done going to the restroom, it smells like beans and rice in there, But I tell you, if you want to run out as a big Filipino, just get a job at the hospital. Do you ever notice that almost all the nurses are Filipinos? I think they got a nursing factory in the Philippines. Hey, I'm really glad you guys are here because when I forget things, I see faces and it reminds me of stuff. There's a friend of mine who's called Jingles. He's out here somewhere, man, but I ain't going to point him out because he'll get upset. But, I used to go to college, University of Oregon, Fighting Ducks. They screwed up last week, though they lost, So, but back then they used to have this thing called streaking when I went to college. I don't know if you guys remember that, but people would put on a ski mask and tennis shoes, and that's all they had on. And they would go running by the girls' dorm. Anyway, my roommate used to call him Little Louie. He put on a ski mask and nobody recognized him. He had his tennis shoes on. He was running by the girls' dorm. Some girl looks out the window and says, "Oh, hi, Louie." We were teasing him and said, "Hey, Louie, did you recognize your lumpia?" What can I say, man? What can I say? I don't understand these doctors these days. They want to check me for hemorrhoids. They go to my appointment, they want to check me for hemorrhoids. What do? They get this big tube, and they're shoving it up my behind. I'm like, hey. I tell you, man, if I didn't have it before, I had it after he was done, Anyway, my roommate, Louie, man, he has the best luck with women. He every time we went nightclubbing, he'd always pick up on the best looking girl in the place, and he'd leave with her, and you never saw him for the rest of the night. And, one time, except one time, I'll tell you. One time we all went to the nightclub, there's 3 of us, Anyway, we were all checking out this one girl, and she's good looking, man. Anyway, he puts a rap on her, he leaves with her. Everything, there he goes again, man. 5 minutes, he's gone. He comes back later, 5 minutes later. What happened? Man, that was a dude, man. I said, and a handful of balls, man. I said, oh, shit. I said, maybe you should have told us that, man. We still tease him, man. I said, hey, every time he has a birthday, we used to call it ping pong after that, Every time he has a birthday, we send him a box of ping pong balls. Yeah, happy birthday, Louie, have a ball. Yeah, well, I'm getting older now, so I have to go get a colonoscopy. Well, that's a fun experience. It ain't too bad. They put you to sleep. And you wake up, and there's all these real nice looking nurses. You wake up in the recovery room. There's all these real nice looking nurses. And I don't know what a colonoscopy does to you, but man, you have bad gas, man. So, you know, there's all these limited nurses, you don't want to explode in front of them, you know? You don't want to blast. So, you know, I'm holding it, and I'm like, oh, shoot, you know? Until some nurse comes in, she goes, hey, did you pass gas yet? I said, no. She goes, we can't leave until you pass gas. I said, man, I wish you would have told me that an hour ago, man. Jeez, man. Jeez. I blasted, man. I exploded, man. And I don't know if it was the smell or the noise, but that nurse, she passed out, man. And later on, security comes in and said, they thought I shot the nurse, you know. Anyway, things kind of calmed down, and then another nurse comes in. I gotta check your prostates. I'm going, oh man, here they go again. What do? They stick their finger up there behind it. I'm like, oh, what are you looking for, man? Jeez. You know? And anyway, when she's done, I started thinking about it. I said, wait a minute, is that the same finger you used to measure the rice with? I said, so I don't eat rice anymore, I'll tell you. And then they give you that questionnaire. You know, you get old, they give you that questionnaire. They start asking you all these questions, you know, personal questions. You know. Have you ever had an STD? The STD? LBW one time? You know, or have you ever been forced to have sex? I said, at my age? I wish. You know, I'm like, gee, wait a second. So how about this one? You find it hard getting up in the morning? Yeah. Am I answering lucky I can find it in the morning? What are you talking about, man? Hey, I love you guys. Well, thank you very much for coming, man.
Mexican side of the family will like send you to the hospital, and then like the Filipino side of the family will heal you, right? So glad you guys are out, man. You know, this family show was started by Mr. Paul Rodriguez, and one of the first guys who ever gave me writing credits. We were working on a Pollo Loco commercial.